The notice requirements provided in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings of the Spotswood Borough Council on December 27, 2017. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey. I'd like to do a salute to the flag, but in your moment of silence, please keep Claire Benshoff in your prayers. This gentleman was the husband of Bonnie Benshoff, a 25-year retired crossing guard, and funeral services were held in August. So keep him and his family in your prayers. Thank you.
Also September 11th is coming around.
And yes, September 11th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and especially this September 11th. Victims, first responders, and families. I understand that in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where they have the memorial, they did a wind chime memorial that's several stories high, and they're dedicating it this Sunday. And I don't know how far Shanksville is from Spotswood. I guess it's a couple hours, but I thought what a wonderful way to remember those individuals who perished on that flight.
Let me take attendance, please.
Sure.
Councilman Stolen?
Here.
Councilman Ritchie?
Here.
Councilman Malillo?
Here.
Councilman Rivera?
Here.
Council President Rhodes?
You here?
Mayor Sealy?
Here.
I understand that we're having a presentation. Walter Toto?
Yes, thank you. Council President, how are you?
I am fine.
Mayor, Council, thank you for taking the time to hear us this evening. Walter Toto on behalf of Roger Mumford Homes, LLC. My law office is at 317 Forsgate Drive in Monroe Township, so I'm here in my capacity as the attorney and the land use attorney for Roger Mumford Homes. I have with me Roy DeBoer, who is a licensed professional planner and landscape architect. I'm not sure if I'm going to have Roy testify. He may affirm the report of his that I'll hand out in a couple of minutes, but just by way of a brief summary, Roger Mumford Homes is a real estate developer that obtained preliminary and final major subdivision approval before the planning board in June of this year, June 19, 2018. And the approval was for 22 single-family detached lots. Located southwest of Dora and northwest of McKinley Avenue. The project will be known as Heritage at Spotswood. The tax office knows this property as Lot 11 in Block 94. It's a vacant wooded lot. It's about 12.2 acres, and it's in the R10 zone, so it's a residential zone. We received unanimous subdivision approval in June of 2018. It was a fully conforming application. In other words, there were no bulk variances necessary. And as, of course, I just said, the residential use is permitted in the R10 zone. Tonight, we seek partial relief from your tree removal and replacement ordinance. I think either Bruce or Pat was kind enough to make copies of that ordinance. I also have a copy of it as well. Specifically, we seek relief from the more financially penal aspects of Section 120-603G of the Borough Code. The tree removal and replacement ordinance requires anyone who makes a subdivision application before the planning board to submit plans indicating the current location, size, and species of all the existing trees on site. The applicant also has to identify the trees to be removed from the site. At this point, I'd like to just pass out the report that Roy DeBoer provided to the planning board. Mr. Dignan, do we mark this as A1 for applicant or P1? Is that necessary?
I mean, it's not a formal application.
No, understood.
Just identify it.
That's fine. So this is the tree removal plan and report that was submitted to the planning board It includes the tree survey that is the subject of the ordinance that we're discussing.
Thank you.
And it also includes the actual
Thank you.
subdivision plan to the rear. Tell me I got it right. Okay, thank you. Perfect. So the ordinance requires, in the case of wooded areas like the property in question, in excess of 1 acre, we could use a sample area of 10,000 square feet or 100 by a 100 area.
Lift it up.
Yeah, sure. So again, in the case, you got it. In cases of wooded areas in excess of 1 acre, which this is 12.2 acres, the ordinance allows an applicant like Roger Mumford Homes to take sample sizes of 100 by 100 square feet in area to calculate and extrapolate the calculations for the tree removal and the replacement. Now, in light of the fact that obviously the property is that large, we did submit 2 sample areas for extrapolation. And so taking the average of the samples, we are removing approximately 40 trees for each 10,000 square feet of clearing. So that actually ends up converting to about 177 trees per acre. Now, just to take a step back from all of those facts, all uses have an inherent level of disturbance associated with each permitted use. In this case, it's a residential subdivision, so what's inherent in that use would be creating the right-of-ways or the roadways, detention basins. In this case, there are 2. There's a permitted lot and building coverage. In this case, that's 35% of the lot. And these lots are about 10,000 to 12,000 square feet in area. What's most striking about the ordinance is not necessarily what it says, it's what it doesn't say. The ordinance, it casts a fairly wide net, and in my opinion, it casts too large of a net. It doesn't allow for any of the things that are inherently associated with site disturbance. Now, a lot of ordinances, like East Brunswick, Monroe, there's a seminal case that upholds tree ordinances. There's the Shore Builders Association versus the Township of Jackson. Jackson's ordinance also allowed for 50% disturbance of the site, and then they started calculating the tree replacement or the cost associated with tree replacement. Your ordinance doesn't have any of that. It doesn't allow for any leeway. It doesn't allow for any clearing. Right from the word go, we're being penalized for any type of site clearing. Getting back into the numbers, so 11.3 of these 12.2 acres is wooded. 3.8 of those acres will remain undisturbed and wooded. So that leaves 7.5 acres to be cleared. Now again, the 7.5 acres includes detention basins, of which there are 2, 35% lot coverage, which is permitted in the R10 zone, and the roadways. All of that makes up 4.6 acres. So if you've got 7.5 of total clearing and 4.6 of the basins, roadways, and lot coverage, that equals 2.9 acres of net site clearing. If you don't allow us any relief, we're looking at approximately $200,000 in penalties under the ordinance. We are going to replace some of the trees. I think it's about 100 and, Roy, do you have that number? 124. But if you include the clearing that's inherent to the zone, the penalty is just under $60,000. There's another wild card here that I'd like you to think about in your deliberations, and it may require some consultation with the council engineer or the township engineer. There's a question as to what might be required to bring water to the site, and that may also require a contribution of some sort from the developer. Now, that whole discussion is in its infancy. I know Bruce's office is working with the state along with our project engineers to figure out exactly what might happen there. But when that shakes out, I think we might be compelled to make some sort of a contribution. So I'd ask you to have that in the back of your minds when making a determination as to whether some partial waiver or relief may be appropriate in this circumstance. That's really basically it. I have Roy to affirm Mr. DeBoer to affirm the contents of his report, if you want Roy to be sworn in. And I know it's somewhat informal, Mr. Deegan, I'm not sure if that's necessary.
The planning board, I don't, you know.
So that's
I don't
fine.
think there's any doubts.
You're off the hook, Roy. So that's really it, Council President and members of the
Thank you.
council. I hope you take what we've said into consideration and view this favorably. I would add that perhaps if there is some accommodation reached, and including this water issue, perhaps it would be memorialized in a developer's agreement between the developer and the borough. And that's it. Thank you again for your time this evening.
Okay, thank you very much.
Much
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've got all the information, and we will need to consult with our professionals, and you will be notified. Okay? Thank you very much.
Very good. So we'll check it out, then, so. Okay, let's check it out.
What they put down, unless the borough has a list.
So that's the idea. That's
Want to do the minutes?
Yes.
You gotta go.
We have minutes. We have minutes from the caucus meeting of July 16, 2018.
Make a motion to pass the caucus meeting from July 16th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have the regular meeting minutes for July 16, 2018.
Second.
Make a motion.
Make a motion, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have the caucus minutes from August 13th, 2018.
Make a motion to move a caucus meeting August 13, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, and we have the regular minutes.
Make a motion to move regular meeting August 13, 2018.
Yeah,
Second.
8:13, that was the caucus. The regular minutes, I didn't change it, but it's August 13, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, we have the resolutions under consent agenda. Council President and council members, I'll take a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda, resolutions 2018-130 through 2018-138.
Move the resolutions?
Second. Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
I don't know if you have any comments.
Well, why don't we get the department heads, liaisons, reports? You want to start with you, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Ain't that much. Board of Education. Board of Education meeting the 18th of this month, 7 o'clock at the high school library. And the library on Main Street, meeting there at 7 o'clock. That's the 20th. So get over there and read some books and join the meeting. That's it. That's all I got.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, John, thank you. Kurt?
I want to take a minute to welcome Ted back to the dais. He's had a struggle past month, and it's good to hear you're on the mend. It's good to see you back up here again. I also want to congratulate you on your renovation. I think that you officially have the nicest building on Main Street, and it's a
agree.
real example of what we hope other people do on our Main Street. And I thank you for what you did, because it really is a beautiful building.
It is.
Yes, well, it's good to see you're back in operation, up and running.
Good thought, Kurt.
Also on the planning board last night, Marge will be very excited about this. Asbury Fuel Oil Building is going to be renovated.
If you said they flattened it, I would be excited.
Well, it's one of those things, if they flatten it, you may never be able to put something back, but they're going to fully renovate it and improve it, and...
They got the approvals with the
They
the stream?
did, but it sounds like this is also something that's going to come back to us because there might be some things the council has to deal
Okay.
with as well. So, but it is in the works,
Wonderful.
Yes.
That is a great news.
and that's all I have.
And still nothing with the old Spotswood Pharmacy,
No.
that building?
With
Huh.
all the pharmacies going up now, it's
Yeah.
going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
Well, that was supposed to be one of those like walk-in clinic type pharmacies / pharmacy. They started going, then it just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been sitting there for another 2 years. I think it's been vacant, oh, what, Charlie, 15 years maybe, down there? Spotswood Pharmacy?
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
But its
That's just
interior
terrible.
is, exterior and interior is pretty much there, so I don't
Yeah.
know what's happening.
Huh. Ted, anything?
no, I missed the last meeting. I just wanted to offer my congratulations to the 3 new police officers. I would have liked to have been here to do it in person, but that's about it.
Good, good, we missed you. Jose?
I have nothing.
Mayor?
Well, you first, go ahead.
I just wanted to say Spotswood Education Foundation gave out their grants on the teachers back to school in Spotswood. We had given out 147 grants totaling $89,000 over the course of the last probably 13 or 14 years we've been in existence. The mayor was an early supporter of us when we were first starting out, and that was much appreciated, and everybody on the dais has really supported that organization. But we acknowledged Dee Pope was our treasurer and secretary, and she passed over the summer, and we miss her dearly, and we dedicated one of the grants to her memory. Charlie's on the council, the board too, and so we cried a little bit, but we celebrated all the great work that organization has done for our school district and continues to do, and I want to thank the community for supporting that organization. The other thing is Beth Blatt does an amazing job putting out a newsletter monthly to the senior center. She works at the senior center with Donna and Falkenberry, our director, and also sends out fraud alerts. So this past week, I guess there was some scam going on with people calling and saying they were from the IRS, and truly that's a great service to those seniors who maybe aren't tuned into TV or tuned into newspaper. So she does those kind of alerts to our community. And there's just great activities going on down there. So I just wanted to highlight that. And Mayor, it's your turn.
Well, as we spoke about earlier, there is a tentative meeting for the lake, the DEP. I know myself, Bruce, and Dawn can make it so far, and that's on October 3rd. We're hoping that comes with the help of the DEP being able to make it as well. We'll present our plan, and they'll tell us whether or not they'll accept it, and then we can start getting the funding and start the project, which is probably the
Terrific.
best time of the year. It'll be during the fall or winter, depending how fast they move.
Yeah.
You know, everything in government seems to move very, very, very slow. Tomorrow and Friday, I'll be popping over to Shonley Memorial School to welcome all the kids back to school.
Oh, that's great.
The $1,350,000 you heard about the improvements to our radio system, I would like to make the public aware of the fact that Chief Zarrow, Patrolman Sasso, and John Cossack managed to shave $924,766 off the original bill. It was somewhat higher, and they got it back down pretty good. And
Wow.
This Saturday is the PBA picnic, which is over in Helmetta. I think the tickets are $40, am I right? Yes. Yes? $40, so if somebody wants to attend, I'm sure the ticket's still available. And that's pretty much all I got.
Good, good. I had asked, actually, with the acquisition of Helmetta and all of the great things going on with our police department, for Chief Zarrow to come to a council meeting and just give us a brief update on, how he's implementing, the extra duties and just give a report on where we are with the certification process and all that. And he said he would. I just don't know when he'll be doing that.
I will let you know that I get a monthly report.
Oh, do
What's
you?
going on,
Okay.
And I'm getting a lot of positive feedback.
I am too.
So it seems to be working quite well.
Yeah, it is. I am hearing lots of good things about people saying our force is very visible, they feel very comfortable, very safe, and just a complete night and day from what it was to what it is. So I'm very happy
Oh, we have
too.
a great team. The officers are really personable and concerned, and
Yeah, yeah.
all good things.
Actually, at the teacher back to school, Shapley was there. What's his, lieutenant? Sergeant Shapley was there, greeting the kids too. So it's just a great program with our police, and they do great work. And any other reports? Okay.
Make a motion to open to the public?
Second? Second.
All in favor?
Aye. You're now welcome to come up and comment on anything. Hi.
Evening.
J.C. Worley, 59 DeVoe Avenue. Something to bring up. The property line in between the first aid building and my house, there's the river, I don't know what you call it, the gully or whatever you call it, drainage, was done about back in 1999 under the Mayor's Agnet and B.A. Hamilton administration. It was redone. And on my current property, there was a wooden fence put up, shrubs, and this over the years, fast forward with Hurricane Irene and everything, was flooded, and it just totally overgrew with vines. And basically the vines grew over the fence and strangled the shrubs. And every time I tear the vines down on my side, not even a week later, they're back. And they're wisteria vines is what they are, and they have grown over the property and have strangled a few trees as well on my property. All I'm asking is, I do have paperwork on this. I looked through the paperwork. There's no maintenance agreement or anything like that with the borough as far as the borough taking care of the fence or whatever was put up by the borough. I'm just asking if, in fact, I'll take care of my side, if the road department or whoever can go on the other side of the fence and just cut it right down to the water or the still water that's down there, just before the winter comes, and then maybe in the spring too would be when it starts to grow, because it's a lot of work. And I mean, I don't mind doing the work on my property side, but it's just they're pretty aggressive, the vines. So
Actually, this year with the amount of rain we
yes,
During the growing season.
and I'm slowly taking over the property for my parents, and just like I said, there's a lot of work to be done. But like I said, the fence was put up by the borough. If anybody would like a copy of the paperwork, I can bring it next time or mail it in. As far as how the property was
necessary.
dealt with. Okay.
Yeah.
But if that could be done, that would be
Yeah.
greatly appreciated. So
Thank you, J.C., for coming.
you're
Sure.
welcome. Thank you very much.
Dawn, you made a note, right? Okay. Anyone else? Good evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is William Kramer. I live in 11 Halsey Place in Spotswood. My complaint is against Solitaire that picks up our recycling. They throw everything all over the place. We have to go out in the middle of the street and pick up our garbage cans, our recycling bins. And I went out on Eisenhower today, and there was plastic strewn all over the place. Maybe somebody could put in a call to them and ask them to be a little bit more attentive.
I'm smiling because actually I was home today when they came around Willard Clark Circle, and he was stopping. Do you remember a couple years ago they put skid marks on all the roads because they were doing that? But I didn't see it afterwards. He hadn't come to my house yet, and I didn't see the stuff on the road. But he was in a rush this morning. I know that.
Well, the
I'm sorry.
driver in my neighborhood was busy on the phone while I was backing up down the street.
Oh, really?
When I went out to get my cans, they were out in the middle of the street. So
We're going to call the MCIA because the county handles the recycling.
Yeah.
We'll make them aware of
Yeah.
the problem.
thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Anything else? We have easy fixes tonight. Oh, I don't know. Charlie's coming up.
Charlie Spicuzzo, 276 Madison Avenue. I had a question about the hearing from earlier. I wasn't clear. How many trees are they actually taking down, Bruce? Because he said something like 177
No,
per
that was
acre?
per acre.
Right, so that's what I said, what's the total number that are?
I have it written down, Charlie, but here we go. 177, 7.5 acres times 150, so it's going to be 7.5 times 177. Give me 1 second, I'll give you the exact number.
Yeah.
Yep, 177 trees per tract.
Right.
So
I just want to make sure I
it
heard the
looks
numbers
like
right.
about
It's a lot.
1,300 or so.
Right. So, I don't know financially, I know they're looking for, to be a little easier financially on them. I don't know if it's any easier or cheaper for them to replace trees and put smaller trees up. If we do cut back on the financial burden on them, maybe we make them plant trees somewhere else in the town to replace some of these that are coming down. There's an awful lot of trees coming down,
Yeah,
and we don't have
it
much.
is.
That's what we put the tree ordinance in place for.
Right.
So that we would get a fund that then we could go around and install trees.
But what I'm saying is, if we're going to cut back on that penalty that we're going to give them, maybe force them to plant trees in other locations on their expense, instead of making the town take whatever money they're going to give us to go do that. Just an idea.
Thank you,
Right,
Charlie.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we don't usually get these big developments, I think, but good thing we did have this in place so that we do have recourse with the ordinance and some control over the deforestation of those acres. Good. Anyone else from the public?
Make a motion to close the public portion?
Second.
We have a closed session, too. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas the public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follow: potential litigation/contract negotiations. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public when confidentiality is no longer required. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Make a motion to pass the resolution?
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
Any action being taken? No?
Okay, I got to ask you to leave the building, or leave the room. Thank you. Our next meeting is Monday, September 17th.
Make a motion to close, reopen the open?
Second, open up. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah.
Business?
No other business?
Second.
Are we doing anything for September 11th?
I haven't heard of anything, Jose.
Mayor?
No, we're not.
Who's first?
We're doing anything for
Ted was
September
first, I
11th?
was
I'll be in
second.
Atlantic Collins. They've got a very big memorial up there. I don't know if you ever
And
been there.
I will be in Denver, Colorado at a conference for the grant.
All in favor?
They got one on Scenic Drive.
Aye.
Yeah.